Welcome to Dynamic Control Flow, Building Resilient Business Logic with Indefinite Iteration. This module is part of the course's Module 6 Architecture Patterns track, and it addresses a fundamental capability that for loops can't provide. Running code for an unknown number of iterations until a specific condition is met. The while loop is the tool for interactive programs, input validation, retry logic, and menu-driven applications. The patterns that appear in virtually every real business application. The architectural diagram on this title slide shows a loop receiving input from the outside, executing internal logic, and routing results back or forward out. So this is exactly the pattern that you're going to be building. By the end of this module, you'll understand the mechanics of while loops, how to avoid infinite loops, and how to use break and continue as flow controllers, and how to assemble the 3 core business logic blueprints that power interactive Python programs. This slide establishes the fundamental decisions between for and while loops with the iteration matrix. The key distinction is known versus unknown quantity. For loops work with a fixed known quantity. They iterate over a pre-existing collection, a list, a range, file rows, where Python knows exactly how many iterations will occur. Use them for batch processing, generating reports, and sequential reading. These while loops work with an indefinite unknown quantity. They evaluate a Boolean condition and keep running as long as it stays true, with no predetermined count. We use them for interactive menus, input validation, server listening, and retry logic. The practical heuristic. If you know how many times to loop, use for. If you're looping until something happens, use while. This distinction maps directly to business logic. Processing a fixed data set uses for. Keeping a menu alive until a user quits uses while. This slide explains the mechanics of how a while loop works. The code example shows count is equal to 3. Then, while count is greater than 0, print count. Then, count minus equal 1. The flow chart on the right makes the execution path explicit. The condition gate evaluates count is greater than 0. If true, execute the loop body and return to the gate. If false, exit the loop. The variable count minus equal 1 inside the loop is what drives the condition toward false. This is the loop modifier. The caption at the bottom of the slide is the most important line. You control when the loop ends by managing the condition yourself. High flexibility, high risk. That last phrase, high risk, is the warning. Unlike for loops, where Python manages the iteration automatically, while loops depend entirely on you updating the condition correctly. Forget to update it, and the loop runs forever. This slide diagnoses the 3 root causes of infinite loops, the most common bug in the while loop programming. Note the terminal banner. Press Ctrl-C to interrupt a runaway loop. The 3 failure modes are precisely named. The missing modifier. You simply forgot to include the line that updates the loop variable at all. The reversed vector. You updated the variable in the wrong direction, adding when you should subtract, so the condition moves further away from false with each iteration instead of closer. The unreachable threshold. The update only happens inside a conditional block that never actually triggers during runtime. The diagnostic question to ask before every while loop. What makes this condition become false, and will that actually happen? If you can't answer both parts confidently, the loop has an infinite trap in it. Write the modifier before you write the loop body. Make the exit strategy explicit from the start. Here we introduce break and continue, the 2 internal override controllers that give you fine-grained control of loop execution. Break terminates the loop entirely, immediately regardless of the condition. Execution continues with the first line after the loop block. Use a break for emergency exits and explicit user quit conditions. Continue skips the remainder of the current iteration and jumps back to the top condition check. Execution doesn't leave the loop. It just abandons the current cycle and starts the next one. Use continue for filtering out invalid data smoothly without building deep nested conditional logic. The visual on this slide makes the distinction clear. Break points to an end box outside the loop. Continue draws an arrow back to the loop's top. Together, these two keywords let you express complex loop logic. Run forever, but skip bad data, and stop on a specific condition, cleanly and readably. In this slide, while true, the idiomatic Python pattern for loops that need an explicit exit condition rather than a countdown. The code structure is while true, followed by the loop body with an if condition break inside to trigger an exit when the right event occurs. The diagram shows the infinity symbol inside the loop body with an exit arrow enabled and labeled break. The annotation on this slide makes the architectural insight explicit. While true with break is in idiomatic Python for keep going until an explicit exit condition. The architecture is flipped compared to a standard while loop. The exit condition is checked inside the loop body, not at the start. This is the correct pattern when you don't know the exit condition until you're inside the loop iteration. For example, when you need to receive user input and then decide whether to continue. It's not a workaround, it's the intended design. Here's Blueprint 1. Blueprint 1 is the input validation pipeline, the most important single pattern in interactive Python programming. The full code combines 4 components. The engine, while true, keeps the prompt alive indefinitely until success. The shield, try, values equal to some float input, enter positive amount. This catches catastrophic type errors. When a user types text instead of a number, without crashing the program, looping back instead. The filter, if the value is less than or equal to 0, print must be positive. Continue. Technically valid this rejects technically valid numbers that violate business rules, catching the case where a user enters 0 or a negative amount. The escape hatch, return the value or val, is only reachable if both the shield and the filter pass. It's the success path out of the validation loop. This 4-component architecture, engine, shield, filter, escape hatch, is a template you'll use in every interactive input scenario in this course. Blueprint 2 is the menu-driven dispatch pattern, the architectural backbone of every interactive terminal application. The structure has 2 phases inside a while true loop. The display phase prints the menu options to the screen. The capture phase calls input to receive the user's choice. After capture, a conditional dispatch block routes the choice. If choice is equivalent to 1, triggers the add item block. Elif choice is equal to 2, triggers the view cart block. Elif choice is equal to 3, triggers the quit block and calls break and to exit the loop. The caption at the bottom describes this precisely. The loop holds the program wide open, and the conditional dispatch acts as a switchboard routing signals to the correct logic blocks. This pattern scales to any number of menu options. The while true loop is the container, the if and elif chain is the router, and the break on the quit choice is the clean exit. Blueprint 3 is the accumulator engine, the pattern for building running totals inside a loop. The three phases must happen in strict order. Phase 1, initialize set, total is equal to 0, outside, and before the loop begins. This is critical. If you initialize inside the loop, the total resets to 0 on every iteration and you never accumulate anything. Phase 2, accumulate inside the while loop. Execute total plus equals item price on each validated input. The loop provides the indefinite iteration, and the plus equals operator builds the running total. Phase 3, finalize. After the loop terminates post-break, call print total to display or return the accumulated result. The structural rule checklist reinforces the three phases: initialize outside, accumulate inside, finalize after. This is the same architecture behind shopping cart totals, invoice line item sums, and any business logic that builds a result iteratively from user input. This slide assembles all four blueprints into a complete order entry architecture, a full workflow system built from the atomic patterns you've studied. The four layers nest inside each other. Layer 1 is the main program loop, while true, holds the session open. Layer 2 is the menu dispatcher routes the user to the correct feature. Layer 3, the input validation shield, try, accept. This sanitizes every data entry before it reaches the accumulator. Layer 4, the accumulator. Total plus equals price builds the running order total. When the user selects quit, break, this exits the main loop and the program prints the final receipt. The bottom caption captures the insights, atomic concepts combined into resilient systems. Each pattern you learned separately: while true, break and continue, try, accept, the accumulator. These slots into specific layers of the architecture. Understanding the layers makes the whole system readable and maintainable. This architectural reference card is your summary and reference for everything in this module. 3 panels. The golden rule. Every while loop must have a guaranteed path to false or an explicit break. There is no exceptions. If you can't identify that path, the loop is a potential infinite trap. The flow control quick match. Break aborts the entire loop and jumps to the end. Continue aborts only the current cycle and jumps to the top. Control-C is the terminal kill switch for runaway loops. The universal validation pattern, while true, plus try, plus capture and convert input, plus check rules with continue. If they fail, plus break on absolute success, plus accept value error, to handle catastrophic input gracefully. This pattern handles every combination of bad input an end user can produce. The slide's footer here points to what's next: functions, modules, and PyTest, organizing the logic you've been writing into reusable, testable units.